Hey, all you boating fanatics and fishing fanatics. Today we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about fixing this landing gear on the boat trailer. Now, I'm suffering today. My heater won't start. My torch that I used to start the heater, it won't work anymore. So I got this loud little heater here. It's keeping my coffee warm. I'm using an Oregon Coastal Recreation map as a coffee coaster. And so, you know what I found out is my channel has enough watch hours to get me paid. I'm like, no way. The thing I'm missing is the amount of subscribers that YouTube wants me to have. They say the minimum I gotta have is at least 500. So please do subscribe. I've never asked people to subscribe, but you know, why not have a little extra cash to buy things like the gear set for this landing gear. Now, the Dutton Laneson Company is a company in Hastings, Nebraska. And they've been around a long time. Now, when I searched for landing gear about apparently it was the 52nd week of 2010 according to the stamp on my landing gear. I was looking for the best landing gear I could find because I was tired of replacing the landing gear. The crank would get bound up, froze, whatever, and I'd have to buy another one. So this one is, yeah, made in the USA. It's the 1,500 pound tongue jack. Now, the sticker is pretty worn out. This thing is about, say, 15 years old now. And I've put a gear set in it before. In 2019, I bought this gear set that they'll send me, and I put it in. So what we're going to do today is we're going to replace this again, because one of my gears has gone bad. So we'll get the camera set up and we're rolling. So I want you to see what we got in here. When you order a gear set from this company, it's about 13 bucks. Whoa. And some money for shipping. And they send it to you right away. Apparently a guy, Dale Davis, is on the spot for this job. And this is their own gear set. And it comes with a little rebuild kit. So we're going to put that in right now. They do have their own YouTube video, but you know, don't watch that one. Surely it's not as good. Okay, so let's look inside here, and it's really easy to take apart. Matter of fact, we're gonna get a rag in here. We're gonna clean this out, and then we will proceed. All right, inside the top of this thing, right there on that gear, you'll find a pin. Now you need to tap that down, and then crank the crank to break off the pin, and then tap the rest of it out. So they say. So we're going to give that a try. Now this is definitely a dirty job. So glove up, because the ladies do prefer soft hands that aren't covered in grease and cracks. So if you got a wife or a girlfriend, just keep that in mind. All right. Snap and tap. Okay, so you see that now this is turning, but nothing else is. So now I can pull this crank out, I believe. it, but I'm tapping it. And now I'm pulling it. Okay. Alright, so you can see a nice hole there. Set the crank aside. You can go ahead and remove the contents. It should be this gear. So you can see one tooth turns into several missing teeth, and now it's pretty much toothless, which is fine. Get that out of there. Now you got to figure all this grease that's left over in here, it's got teeth in it, so you want to get all this grease out, or your gear's going to end up toothless again probably real quick. So that'll be easier to clean out once you pull out everything else. So this bottom gear just sits here, and if you get the right tool, probably grab it out of there easier. And I think the right tool is going to be probably something I don't have on hand right here, but got it. Set that aside. And find your dirtiest rag. Go ahead and wipe around in there. Get everything nice and clean. You don't want any teeth left in here. So, anyways, what I was saying earlier is, to my surprise, YouTube has told me that, hey, if you had 500 subscribers, which is only another 250, we're going to send you money. So, I mean, who doesn't want a little money from a big corporation that is profiting off of my videos anyway? Be nice to have a little bit of it. I could buy me maybe some herring, some few fishing lures, maybe a couple drops of boat gas. I mean, it's not going to be much money, especially at the rate that my videos suck. You know what? It's not going to be much, but we're having fun. We're fishing, we're fixing, we're boating, we're just doing stuff, and you know, it could lead to some better videos down the road. What I do need is some more people to subscribe. So I know it's probably preaching to the choir. Anyone who's made it this far into the video is probably already a subscriber, and I want to thank you for that. Alright, so we're nice and clean in here. Now this pin is not the problem, so I'm just going to leave this pin in here. And you could take your whole thing apart. It's not that hard to do, but it's not what I'm going to do. And so the back of this card, it says info, all jacks 1250 to 2,000 pounds, 22439. It's the last 5 of the UPC. So they give you some extra parts that you probably won't need. Like, what are the chances that you've worn out this collar? Pretty much next to none. So I'll just keep those in my spare parts. And so just remember how everything comes apart. See how there's a little flat piece right here, which lines up with the flat notch inside of here. Now someone will probably say, hey, why don't you just put all these in here because you've got them right here. And I'll be like, hey, good idea. But I don't give a rip. Alright, so this, as you can see, it's different than this one. You've got, this is the one that slides all the way through. So that would be the top. This one, see how the notch is longer, shorter. So this one goes down here in the bottom, and you can even double check that on your old one. Okay, so we'll just stick that in there. Turn it around until you feel it drop. And then we can double check it. Just double check that your pin is in the center when you drop this. Oh, check it out. Okay, it went nice and flush, so that's fits good. Now you can see that I've got everything I need. Slide this back in here. Get the gear down here in place. This, I believe, is going to be the hard part, because so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to jack up my landing gear now, because this pin has pressure from the weight of my boat and it's pushing everything up, and so this gear won't sit down in there because everything's being pushed up. So I'm gonna have to move a couple things. We'll reset and then we'll go for it in a minute here. Alright, I'm just jacking up just enough to take the pressure off my wheel. So it's a good thing to know that if you're trying to do this out in the field, you're going to need to be able to lift the tongue in order to get this to set down. So, lifted the tongue, getting the gear down in place. And okay, pull it back apart. The thing that you have to make sure is that this is pointing straight up. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to put the pin through it. But you also have to have everything else has to align, like the gear has to mesh through to get it to sit in place. Okay, now I can look down and see my hole, my pinhole is lined up now. Now I'll take my pin, okay, stuck to my pliers. Alright, so to try to get this to make it easier on yourself, maybe align it with your tool. It's feeling good. This is sort of like a spring pin, in the sense that when you tap it in there, it sort of crushes slightly, crushes smaller. So make sure you get your smallest hammer when you do this. You don't want to blast this thing. Alright, and that's all there is to it. Consider this job done, and well done. Of course, don't forget. Okay, see how the gear, see everything's turning in there. I'm bringing my gear up. And to be completely honest with you, I don't know, it doesn't feel great. It feels okay. And if you think about, okay, what are these other parts going to do for me? Just be smarter than me. Go ahead, put them all in. Why not, right? But I'm not that smart. And I don't like to waste time, your time or mine. So this is what I'm going to do. This is the way I do things. It's probably the wrong way, but I don't see any wear on the other part. It's probably, I would say, probably good to take this whole thing apart, clean it out, clean the tube, clean everything. Do it your own way. And I'll do it mine. And let's see. Pretty sure I'll have to throw another one in here in a few years. I just feel like the gear, I feel as like it binds a little bit. Like something could be a little bent. Potentially. I think this thing was at its highest point of travel anyway, which they don't really like to get run out all the way to the end. But that's what we got. We're back in business. Probably last me a few more years, and hopefully it'll last me a lifetime. I'm going to be more careful with it. I'm not sure what I did wrong with the last one. It could have happened at the shop. I don't know. Somebody stole some stuff off my boat trailer a couple years ago. Maybe they messed with it. You just never know. I leave my boat trailer unattended, like for the whole summer at fishing camp. But you can see the bottom gear, it must be stronger than the side gear, because the bottom gear doesn't miss any teeth. Side gear missing several teeth. But it's all about probably the, the way you use it. If you feel it binding, don't continue. Back off, wiggle it a little. It's sort of like a gear shift on a car. You don't force it into first gear. You take it out, you put it in neutral, let the clutch in and out, and you try again. It's just like the meshing of the gears doesn't always work out, especially when they're loosely intertwined as these ones are. So anyways, that's our video for today. Hope you found it helpful, and y'all have a great day.